Hardware Manageability. Welcome to this tutorial where we will explain what information and functionalities are available on the Hardware Manageability tab of an endpoint on the Intel EMA web interface. We will show the Intel AMT functionality available with Intel EMA. Take into account that this functionality is only available on a provisioned Intel vPro PC. Step 1. Starting from the General tab. We'll start the process by navigating to the General tab of an endpoint. Let's first focus on the conditions. Intel AMT functionality can only be used when Sierra is connected. So, the last bullet point concerning Sierra should be green. The power status of the vPro PC doesn't matter, but this scenario starts with a PC that is powered off. The first bullet concerning the power status of the PC is yellow. Hardware Manageability tab. Click on Hardware Manageability. A window called System Status will gradually show the information that is received directly from the Intel vPro PC. Before we start with an overview of all the information, I want to highlight the following. The information that is shown in blue can be clicked on. You will get a pop-up window allowing you to perform an action or change a setting. Step 3. System Status. Let's start with the overview of the information shown by System Status. On the first line, the power status of the PC is shown. It is also shown if the PC is plugged in or working on battery. Click on that information and the power dialog window pops up. There will be a drop-down menu of all possible power control commands that can be executed. Click on Only Show Valid Commands. Loading the valid commands can take a while. When it is finished, only power control commands that can be executed in the current status of the vPro PC will be shown. Click on Cancel. Next line shows the Intel AMT hostname and domain name. Due to the settings in the Intel AMT profile, these names are synced with the OS hostname and domain name. You can click on it and change the AMT hostname and domain name, but in general, there is no reason to change these names. Next line contains the system ID. It is a unique identifier of an Intel vPro PC. The Intel Me line lists two pieces of information. Firstly is the version of the Intel Management Engine firmware. The first number is related to the generation of the Intel Core processor and will never change by a firmware update. It also lists how Intel AMT is activated on the vPro PC, client control mode or admin control mode. The line of the active features shows the Intel AMT functionalities that are selected in the Intel AMT profile. It can be changed per endpoint. There are normally 4 features displayed: redirection port, serial over LAN, ID redirection, KVM remote desktop. Redirection port needs to be enabled, otherwise the other Intel AMT functionalities cannot be used successfully. Next line lists some characteristics of the Intel AMT hardware KVM or remote desktop functionality. It can be changed per endpoint. The default display that will be shown. Opt-in timeout, the time you have to enter the user consent. Session timeout, the remote desktop session will end automatically if there is no activity during this period. Port 5900, which is only visible in the pop-up window, do not enable this port. Next line lists when user consent will be required. User consent is gray and not changeable when the vPro PC is provisioned in client control mode. User consent is blue and changeable when the vPro PC is provisioned in admin control mode. Next line provides the power policy settings defining when Intel AMT can be used. Intel AMT can be used only when the PC is up and running. Or Intel AMT can be used in all power states. The last line shows the date and time of the manageability engine. It is the current date and time in UTC format. That is all information available on the System Status window. Let's have a look at the other ones. Step 4. Remote Desktop. Click in the left bar on Remote Desktop. The Intel AMT hardware KVM or out-of-band remote desktop functionality will be explained in a separate video. Step 5. Network Settings. Click on the next tab in the left bar, Network Settings. The Network Settings window provides information on the status and the settings of Intel AMT on the different interfaces of the vPro PC. If there are profiles explicitly defined for Intel AMT via the Intel AMT profile or individually for the endpoint, these Wi-Fi profiles will be listed. Step 6. Security Settings. Click on the next tab in the left bar, Security Settings. The Security Settings window shows information about the certificates that are used for the SIRA connection between the endpoint and the Intel EMA server. Step 7. User Accounts. Click on the next tab in the left bar, User Accounts. The User Accounts window shows the Intel AMT users used by the Intel EMA server, such as EMA user, for using the Intel AMT functionality. The default AMT administrator is also listed. Step 8. Alarm Clocks. Click on the next tab in the left bar, Alarm Clocks. The Alarm Clocks window shows the alarm clocks that are currently active on this endpoint. Click on Add Alarm. An alarm clock pop-up window appears. It allows you to enter a new alarm clock. If you change Delete on completion to No, you are able to define a repetitive alarm. The endpoint will wake up when the alarm goes off. Take into account that the time is displayed in UTC format. Step 9. Event Log. Click on the next tab in the left bar, Event Log. The event log provides an overview of system events, such as a reboot of the endpoint. Step 10. Audit Log. Click on the next tab in the left bar, Audit Log. The audit log provides an overview of the Intel AMT functionality used on the endpoint. Click here to load the audit log to get the audit log. Step 11. Hardware Information. Click on the next tab in the left bar, Hardware Information. The hardware information provides an overview of the hardware and firmware components of the Intel vPro PC. It is up-to-date information that is sent from the Intel vPro PC to the Intel EMA server each time you click on the Hardware Manageability tab. This up-to-date overview is also available when the vPro PC is powered off or crashed. You got a comprehensive overview of all the information and functionality available on the Hardware Manageability tab of an endpoint on the Intel EMA web interface. You should have now a view on the Intel AMT functionality available with Intel EMA. Stay tuned for videos explaining some of this Intel AMT functionality in greater detail.